Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The program is about to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Tampa Bay's very own Veronica Cintron.
All right, good morning, everyone. How are we doing this morning? Bright and early here at Armature Works. We are so excited to host you here today for what's going to be an incredible, moving, and motivational program. Thank you so much for being here for United Way Suncoast's second annual Rise and Shine Breakfast. Let's hear it for United Way. I'm Veronica Cintron, and I am very proud to be the Vice President of Communications for America's favorite airport, TPA. Yes. But I'm also very proud to be here as a former United Way Suncoast campaign chair for the airport. This is a job we take extremely seriously at TPA. We raise a ton of money for United Way. When I was chair a couple of years ago, I and my colleagues came up with this contest called Voice of TPA. So we gave a chance to a member of the community for their donations to United Way to put their voice on TPA shuttles. Our chairs this year have some great ideas, including we're doing a kickball tournament, which you know is going to be ruthless because at TPA we're not playing around with raising money for United Way. And then really excited about this Saturday, we have the 5K on the runway at TPA. So thank you. It's a wonderful chance for runners, 2,000 people. This thing sells in about 9 days. It sells out. Get on our runway and run in a perspective that you never really get to see. Those planes so close and personal. So regardless, we're so proud to be a part of a community partnership with United Way Suncoast that really makes an impact in this community. I'll tell you, when we talk about United Way Suncoast at TPA, and we think of these campaigns, and even as community partners, we think about rising, right? What it means to rise. We're talking about reach, invest, support, and empower. That's really what it stands for. And for 100 years, the Suncoast region has done just that, lifting up community members and helping them take off the same way the airport helps our travelers take off to incredible destinations. Now, I'll tell you that at this breakfast, we are going to reflect on those 100 years, and we're going to ask you to get centennialized. We have cards at your tables. They look like this. Some of you may be sitting on them right now, so double check. But these cards will help you build a deeper connection with United Way Suncoast. So please do not hesitate to provide your contact information. And if you want, feel free to scan the QR code right here on the back where you can help out, donate, and again, become more connected to United Way. The cards are artistic, and they're thanks to the great work of United Way Suncoast creative director, Dawn Bitaro. And they remind me also of a phrase that is familiar to many of you longtime United Way Suncoast supporters, the art of giving. At TPA, we're very familiar with art. We have incredible creations at the airport. How about that, Phoebe? How about our Phoebe? We have a turtle. I know Phoebe's coming up. Here we go. So we know there is a magic in connecting the community with art. There is an art to partnering with folks to help them create the life they could never imagined. There is an art to galvanizing the caring people of this region to create a lasting impact. Your presence here tells us you are among those very caring people, and because you care, we have something very special for you this morning. We deduce that if you were asked to get up really early this morning, we are asking you to rise and shine every day for families in need in this community, that you probably need some fuel. So you probably by now have seen these canisters at your table. Every one of you will get a gift from United Way Suncoast thanks to the Tampa Bay Rays and Kawa Coffee and our incredible speaker today, one of my best friends, Yala Ford, who you're going to hear a little bit more later from. You are all going to take a canister home. Take a look. They are fabulous, and they contain Kawa's Sirocco, a medium dark roast with beans from 4 different countries and notes of dark cherry and honey. So let's hear it for Kawa. Let's hear it for the Rays. Let's hear it for Ya, because these canisters are absolutely stunning. Now we're going to take a moment, and I ask that all of you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by us being led in prayer by Dr. Sandra Bram, President and CEO of the Gulf Coast Jewish Family Community Services. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Thank you for the privilege to help prepare our hearts and our minds for today's special program. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Doubt, faith, despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light, and where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much be to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this gathering today. We thank you for the many people who have come to celebrate 100 years. We thank you for strong leadership. We thank you for Jessica Muroff and her team of champions. We thank you for the many volunteers and staff who come together every day to plan good works throughout this region that we may serve and help people who are in need and help to uplift those who are seeking a better life. As we come today, we ask a special blessing on the food that we are about to receive, on the hearts that are about to receive. And most of all, we thank you for this beautiful day, for love, and for life. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Bram, for that beautiful blessing. As United Way Suncoast continues its centennial celebration, it is just as focused on where it's headed as where it's been. The UWS Archival Vault, really, it's primarily a closet, but they want to make it sound nice. It teems with photos and newspaper clippings, and we wondered what it would be like if all of those pictures could talk.
1936.
Really old stuff.
1926.
If these photos could talk, they would tell the history of our community for the past 100 years. From times of great struggle to the many little moments that created dreams, just when dreaming seemed impossible.
My father was the United Way campaign chairman somewhere around 1962 or
I was
3.
a staff member for United Way Agency.
37 years ago, I immediately became
My
involved.
first job in Tallahassee.
Mid to late 90s, I got involved with United Way of Hillsborough
I
County.
had just graduated college.
United Way helped to support my parents.
Late Mr. McBride invited me to the luncheon.
Campaign that my late husband, Bill McBride, ran.
One organization can't move these mountains alone, but with vision and direction, we have worked together to help the most vulnerable rise up.
I get the opportunity to be one of the faces of the United Way that says it is possible.
They have that secret recipe
to get the most leverage and impact for our community.
I'm so passionate about what we're doing and how we're doing it.
It was contagious.
To know that my energy is translating into true value for the community.
It's in here.
As the need has grown, so have we. However, our fundamental philosophy has remained the same.
I don't think people realize the breadth of the organization.
You'd have to go back to the Community Chest, the predecessor organization to the United Way.
It started as almost a merchants association.
Raised funds and gave funds to other organizations, and that was pretty much what we did.
Then United Way started its community impact program.
Early childhood learning, financial stability for families, and also ensuring youth success.
There are a lot of memories in this. It's a long time ago, but the United Way continues to have the same kind of impact that it did then, just bigger and different.
Pride in the accomplishments of our past fuels a sense of purpose in what we are doing now. And that is what will drive our impact for the next 100 years.
We are a guiding force for the nonprofit community.
It's that generational change that I think will make us still relevant and still
delivering services to help those in need.
Because it needs all of us.
Continuing to tell that story of how the United Way impacts the community.
100 years of helping people, that's touching a lot of lives.
Our foundation really is the magic that happens when our community comes together to make sure no one is left behind. United we rise, united we win.
Let's hear it for these change makers. Kudos to all the leaders in our 5-county region, really helping make United Way Suncoast a success over the years. All right, so today's program, I will tell you that comes with a lot of inspiration for each of you. It really isn't necessarily about fundraising. It's really about impact. And so next, I want to make sure that we can next bring somebody here to the stage who I think lots of you respect tremendously, who has done a lot for this community. And she obviously almost doesn't need an introduction. The chair of the United Way Suncoast board, actually, forgive me, I just was about to introduce somebody else. I'm reading teleprompters. This is why I need to go ad-libbing, sorry. Let's go first to James. So he is the managing director of Eagle Asset Management's fixed income and strategic income strategies. He has 34 years of investing experience and often shares his expertise in TV appearances on CNBC, Bloomberg TV, and Fox Business News. More importantly, he has a 360-degree view of how United Way Suncoast gives people the freedom to rise. So please help me welcome James. It's your turn, my friend. James Camp.
Man, that's terrible. You thought you were getting Jessica, and here you are stuck with some bond manager from Raymond James. So anyway, I'm going to sift through a couple tabs here to make sure I get the first part of this right, because it's very important to me. First of all, good morning to everybody. And I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for your commitment to this organization. As mentioned earlier, I was involved when I was invited to a luncheon hosted by Tom James and the late Bill McBride. It was incredibly impactful to me to see those two men who I had great respect for and their commitment to this organization. But I also want to acknowledge, if I can back up just 1 second here, the passing of a dear friend. And I think I'm a little bit out of order, but I'm going to do this from memory. Dave Pizzo, a good friend, a dear friend of United Way for more than 25 years. Dave gave his time, talent, and treasure to United Way. He was the immediate past board chair. We were saddened to learn of his passing in February, but not surprised by the outpouring of salutes and kudos for Dave. Dave had risen to become the West Florida market head of Florida Blue. He will always be remembered for his community work, including his passion and support of United Way. Dave and I's paths crossed only briefly, but in the months that have passed since his passing, I've gotten to know him even better through the legacy of his work, through the legacy of his commitment to community, and for the unilateral and unambiguous praise of his character, his grace, and his leadership. It is a fine example and is one that I'll continue and all of us will continue to learn from. I would like to first, since this is a celebration of our sponsors and our grateful donors, recognize our cornerstone sponsors, United Way's #1 leading corporate sponsor, a top sponsor for United Way Suncoast, and their employees work hard to champion the cause and to do so to make shopping a pleasure. I will also say they opened a store in North Carolina, which changed my wife's life forever because we have a second home up there. Literally, my child, who is in college in North Carolina, talks about going to Publix. An incredible organization, incredible commitment to the community, and we thank them for being our cornerstone sponsor. Thank you to Publix. Next, we have our 3 gold sponsors. The first is a national leader among financial services firms, a supporter of United Way for more than 50 years. We're thrilled to continue to have Raymond James on board as a longtime supporter, a few of my bosses and future bosses at the table in front. We thank Raymond James, obviously, for their continued support. Our third gold sponsor has long served as a key community contributor, including sponsorship of these fantastic coffee tins. Please give it up for the Tampa Bay Rays. Keep everybody on their toes. I did first and third. Now we're going to go back to the second. Our second gold sponsor, one of the nation's top financial institutions. Leadership on early learning initiatives aligns beautifully with United Way Suncoast work. A round of applause, please, for our friends at PNC Bank. And the bronze sponsors, who you can see on the screen, United Way Suncoast thanks these and all of our sponsors today. As you can see now, thank you for all the work that allows the mission to continue to thrive. Veronica?
Here we go. Thank you, James. Now, the introduction I was going to do earlier. Our next speaker is one of the best known public servants in the region. First elected to Congress in 2006, she represents Florida's 14th congressional district, which includes Tampa and St. Pete and parts of Hillsborough and Pinellas counties. She is the first woman to represent Hillsborough and Pinellas County in Congress. Her work involving families, including promoting affordable housing, the child tax credit, and financial stability, often aligns with the mission work of United Way Suncoast. Please help me welcome Congresswoman Kathy Castor.
Well, good morning, everyone. Rise and shine. How many of you had a mother or father that woke you up every morning with rise and shine? That was my mother's MO. She's here. Mom, I'm up. Thank you all very much for being here. It's incredibly important that we come together to support the mission of the United Way of the Suncoast. And I'm so grateful for the leadership of Jessica Muroff, for James Camp, the board chair, the entire board, all of the champions there at United Way, and all of you for getting up early, and then what you do to support the United Way throughout the year. And I very much look forward to hearing Yala Ford's remarks. I'm just in awe of the inspiration that your creative work provides to us all. Here we are. Can you believe it? We're at a 100-year mark. And at 100 years, I think it's vitally important that we use this milestone to recommit to families across the Tampa Bay area. Recommitting at this point in time is critically important. The Tampa Bay Partnership recently released its State of the Region report. On average, Tampa Bay families are spending nearly 57 cents of every dollar towards housing and transportation costs, all before taking a bite of food. And while the region is seeing a slight decrease in overall poverty rates, more full-time workers are struggling to make ends meet. And we still rank above the national average when it comes to poverty rates for children. So that's why everything that United Way, Suncoast, and all of you do is vitally important to help people rise to the middle class, to put more money back into their pockets, to lower costs. One of the ways that we've partnered over the years is making sure that every neighbor has access to all important tax credits. They may not mean that much to a lot of folks in this room, or maybe they did on your rise to the middle class. But remember, it's the United Way that offers that free tax prep help in their volunteer income tax VITA centers. In fact, just a few weeks ago, United Way and other partners got together with me to host a telephone town hall where we call out and offer that help and support. Those volunteers are helping neighbors now. Will you make sure that folks at your church and in your neighborhoods and friends at school know that there is free tax prep help available through the United Way VITA sites? Because what they do is they help explain to our neighbors what the Earned Income Tax Credit is. The Earned Income Tax Credit is the largest refundable tax credit, especially for our working class neighbors that make about $65,000 a year. Maybe it's a military family that we're rich with in this area. They must file, though. A lot of folks who don't have any tax liability, they think, oh, it doesn't matter that I file. You bet it matters that they file for their the refundable earned income tax credit and the child tax credit. Last year, the United Way Suncoast used those tax prep centers to bring $14 million back into this region, and those are dollars that circulate to our small businesses and help lift us all. That includes the child tax credit. The child tax credit is also vitally important. During the COVID pandemic, the Congress approved an an expanded child tax credit. That lifted 4 million children across America out of poverty. It cut child poverty rates in half in the United States. It was the largest ever decline in child poverty, putting child poverty at the lowest rate ever on record. We tried to renew it this year. We passed a revised child tax credit through the House, but unfortunately it's still stalled in this chaotic Congress. We need policymakers. I need you to share the word with policymakers and how important that is to kids in our entire community. There are other very important ways to put money back into neighbors' pockets. We just celebrated the 14th year anniversary of the Affordable Care Act. And as we celebrate the life and legacy of Dave Pizzo, remember, it's being able to afford health coverage right now that provides parents and families peace of mind. There are emergency aid discounts under the Inflation Reduction Act that also cap the price of insulin and allowed Medicare to finally negotiate drug prices. All of these things are vitally important in partnership with the United Way of the Suncoast to lowering costs for families at a time that they need it, grow the middle class, and help everyone in this wonderful community rise. So keep up the good work, keep supporting the United Way, and have a beautiful day. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman Castor, for all you do for this community. Now we are going to turn our attention to the keynote speaker of the morning. Our speaker is an artist, she's an educator, and a transporter. If you don't believe me, just ask the students at Starting Right Now. That is a local nonprofit and United Way Suncoast partner that works with unaccompanied teens. To prepare for her appearance at today's breakfast, this nationally renowned artist took time out of her schedule to connect with their students. And she didn't enter with pretense. She didn't speak down to them from some imaginary pedestal. She was connecting with them at a very deep level. She engaged with them as she engages with everybody she meets, sincerely and authentically. She led with the beauty of her soul, and the teenagers just warmed up to her like that. By the end of the session, they were begging her to come back, and she promised to return. This is what my friend does all the time. She uses the power of art as a universal language. Her mission is centered on creating art and experiences, and it never fails to deliver on that. Her work can be found as sculpture, installation, mural design, and exterior facade with a focus on the language of geometric design, symbols, and ethnography. Maybe I should just say her creative style is incredibly inspiring and can be found all over the world. She holds a master's in fine art and interdisciplinary arts from the Art Institute of Boston, and she holds a Juris Doctor from the University of Florida's Levin College of Law. This chick is amazing. Take it from me. I know her. There's this next level beauty and soul and all the light you can imagine, truly. A first-generation American with proud Jamaican roots. She was born in the Bronx, but now we are so fortunate that she calls Tampa home. Without further ado, please welcome my sister, Yala Ford.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, esteemed guests and supporters of United Way. I am so delighted to see all of your bright and eager faces this morning. Saying good morning 3 times is like a warm-up exercise for our minds and life forces, getting us fully tuned and ready for this day. So here's to making a triple dose of good mornings and to the start of a truly remarkable event. Thank you, my friends and Athena sisters, Jessica, Kathy, Veronica, for being the stars in my universe. Deep appreciation to the United Way Suncoast Board, R.I.S.E, the United Way staff for such a wonderful event. I salute you for your community contributions, your commitment to excellence, and your willingness to share your energy, skills, and service with the world. You inspire us all. And service, it is indeed the key word of the day. Given United Way Suncoast is celebrating 100 amazing years of service. 100 years of brilliant service from 1924. And for emphasis on how significant this is, we're talking, okay, math, don't get me wrong, 1,000 months, 5,000 weeks, 36,000 days, 876,000 hours measuring time. Today, I want to talk about time. How will you measure your time? I have a little song that I'm going to attempt to sing. Here goes nothing. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter, in strife, in 526,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in a life? Is it in love? Today, I want you to imagine the sentiment of measuring your life in love. Can we each bring humanity to seasons of love? This is truly a remarkable testament to serving this community. And it is a joy to stand before you all today amidst this warmth and gratitude of this Rise and Shine breakfast. I could safely say we're all excited and looking forward to the wonderful accomplishments to come in the second century of service. But today, as we gather in unity, we celebrate the 1924 call to action. And we celebrate how the impact of inspiration, volunteerism, and creativity can transform lives and communities. At the heart of this mission lies the belief that when we come together, bound by a shared vision of hope and possibility, we can accomplish extraordinary things. The spirit of volunteerism and giving exemplifies the very best of humanity. A selfless dedication to serving others and making a positive difference in the world. Each one of you valued sponsors and volunteers embody the spirit of offering your time, your talents, and your resources to uplift those in need and to build a brighter future for all. As you know, I've come by way of standing on the shoulders of giants who have paved the way for me. And as the proverb says, it truly does take a village. And this morning, I'm so fortunate to have the support of a good number of friends, families, loved ones, my team, and trailblazers who are my village that have come to celebrate this occasion. Thank you. So, in a lighthearted tale and in furtherance of breakfast and coffee, when we think about measuring time, are you involved or are you committed? There's a classic joke about a chicken and a pig deciding to make breakfast together. The chicken suggests, how about we make bacon and eggs? To which the pig responds, sure, but while you're participating, I'm committed. Now, as an artist, I draw inspiration from life's most curious moments. In furtherance of measurements of time and love, I'm thinking of two words that we all know very well: involvement versus commitment. Involvement. Are you someone who's involved, volunteering, donating, occasional contribution, varied engagement, no long-term commitment to the cause? Can I change all of us in this room to the notion of commitment? Commitment, on the other hand, implies a deeper level of dedication, responsibility, and consistency towards a cause or organization. Thus, while involvement may indicate participation to some degree, commitment signifies a higher level of dedication, consistency, and personal investment in volunteering or donating time. I say this because being involved is important, but being committed is that measure in time that demonstrates love. I stand here by the incredible work of United Way, and to know everyone here this morning is also fired up and committed to serving in a way that is transformative and ensures positive change. This morning, I want to give you a little perspective on my life in the arts, because sometimes I believe it's good to reflect on who you are, your purpose, and how we arrive to where we are. Over the years, I've come to recognize being a creative is really tough. It's challenging, it's difficult, and quite frequently, I encounter the word no. But it is through those no's, through these moments, I'm reminded of the principle saying, good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. It's a very simple expression with so much meaning. And I've always felt empowered to be tenacious, to adopt this mindset of offering my very best to every encounter I have, and to leave the community, leave each room with the ability to grow and improve. It is in essence this idea of figuring out how to have the most impact through the power of art. And trust me, finding this space within my art expedition was not always easy, especially since I choose to convey ideas through a little known movement that emerged during the mid-20th century called abstract expressionism. So here I am working as an artist, creating abstract art forms that are supposed to be centered on individuality, spontaneity, subconscious. But I needed more. I needed to be certain that my geometric patterns, my gestural brushwork could communicate emotions, ideas, and concepts through the medium of painting, drawing, mixed media, and sculpture. I was reminded by the quote by Gorky, which states, "Abstraction allows a man to see with his mind what he cannot see physically with his eyes." And because this is so important to me, I brought the same philosophy to students who very often literally share their ideas in a very structured standpoint. And I had to tap into this imagination. So to meet this curiosity, I needed to teach them about the visual qualities of scale and color and form and texture and collage, and how their very actions are modeling these greats. Some of the great abstract expressionists, such as Klein, Rothko, Cy Twombly, Alma Thomas, over the years, I can say there is great reward in seeing that moment of connection or spark when these students figure out the very thing that we brought them, the very thing we taught them through these geometric lines. They're able to see mathematics, engineering, sciences. You see, the power of art is transformative. I want to lend you my brush that always begins with rethinking time and space, finding the metaphysics to the universal language, measuring each pint or gallon of paint with the spectrum of love. For me, it's not merely a form of expression, but a catalyst for change, a universal language that transcends the boundaries and inspires us to see the world through new eyes. Whether it's the stroke of a brush, the melody of a song, the choreography of a dance, art has the remarkable ability to ignite our imagination, awaken our senses, along with fostering empathy, understanding, and social cohesion. It bridges the gap between cultures, promotes a dialogue, and cultivates a sense of belonging. Through art, we find our common ground and celebrate the rich tapestry of the human experience that unites us all. But often I say to corporate executives, the benefit to art extends far beyond aesthetic value. When employees engage with art, it can have a profound effect on mental health and well-being, reducing stress, anxiety, and depression. It stimulates a cognitive function, enhances creativity, and promotes a lifelong learning. In schools, communities, and healthcare settings alike, art enriches lives. It empowers individuals and strengthens the fabric of society. Together, we are not only investing in the future, we are shaping it, creating a world where every individual has the opportunity to thrive and where the transformative power of art is accessible to all. As we close today, I want to leave you with a gift in thought and a tin of coffee. Many thanks to United Way, the R.I.S E, and Kawa for this sponsorship. So picture this. Each day the sun rises over the Ethiopian highlands, casting golden hues upon the fields of coffee trees. It is in this landscape of beauty and resilience that coffee beans inside this tin were born. And within each one carries the potential to awaken the senses and ignite the human spirit. Just like these beans, United Way embodies the spirit of empowerment and possibility, nurturing communities, fostering change one day at a time. And remember the story of being like a coffee bean, as it serves as a reminder that resilience, positivity, commitment, and the willingness to adapt are essential qualities for navigating life's challenges and emerging stronger and more empowered on the other side. Like the coffee bean, let us infuse the world around us with our resilience, our optimism, and our transformative spirit. Just as the roots of the coffee trees intertwine beneath the soul, so too do our lives intersect in ways both seen and unseen. We are bound together by our shared humanity, our shared dreams, our shared responsibility to uplift one another. Together, we can turn even the most challenging situations into opportunity for collective transformation. Here is the truth. Each and every one of you are my greatest reflection of love. Time is our greatest treasure. As you leave here today, feel embraced, and may your day be filled with the inspiration, creativity, and endless possibilities. Rise and shine, my friends. Rise and shine.
Told you she's amazing. I'm so proud of you. She is so good. You see, this is a beauty, right? Being an attorney, being an artist, she's got that power of speech and the creativity. Literally, you could be having a bad day and y'all will talk to you just like that. You've got this. You've got this. Beautiful job. Let's hear again for Yala Ford. Thank you. At United Way Suncoast, we take immense pride in three distinct aspects of the mission work of the organization. We elevate early learning, we energize middle school and high school students to promote youth success, and we empower families and community members through financial stability. If you didn't have a chance to speak with staff in the Gallery of Impact on your way in this morning, please do so as you leave. You will find out that this work is strategic, data-driven, and focused on creating systemic change. But as you'll see in this video, we never put percentages over people. Barb Smith found the support she needed. Jay Hinson gained inspiration through activation. And Cynthia Sumter Scott moved from a home childcare business into her own center. Take a look so you can understand the whole story.
You see us dancing.
I'm gonna put these where they're supposed to go.
You see me educating. You see me working, but you don't know the full story.
Whenever any of us face a challenge or a problem in life, it's very difficult for us to tackle it on our own.
Florida is the fastest growing state in the nation,
attracting more new residents from across the country than any other state in America.
We're at Feeding Tampa Bay, and I'm very glad that this was the place that I had chose to volunteer. It just kind of hit all of a sudden, very limited on income, especially with gas and the cost of living, the groceries. Word got around with Feeding Tampa Bay, and they wanted to make sure that I had food to eat. I, in the back of my head, kept thinking, oh, I'll be okay, you know, in the back of my mind. I'm doing much better. When I can pay my bills and when there's food on the table and I have gas and that I can go see my daughter. That is my financial stability.
Since our inception in 1924, we've always done things in partnership with others. Convening and collaborating, that has been our DNA since day one.
Well, I was contacted by United Way. They're one of our funders, and they do amazing things. And they told me about this event.
United Way really partners with us to create awesome experiences at these events and to really make them interactive. Our team wanted to find ways to get back and be involved in the community.
They said, yeah, we want to do our annual thing. We want to do some activities. We want to, prepare some kits.
And we built disaster preparedness kits, which is so important because we're based in Florida, a lot of our folks. So we know we've got to be prepared for hurricanes.
And we heard you guys perform, so do you think you could do a dance number? I said, of course we could do this.
That was really incredible, the skill level that they have at such a young age.
It's more than just dance. To me, success is always trusting in yourself, believing in yourself, and always having confidence. So when you go out into the big world, you don't have to worry about anything and just be you.
United Way is doing even more to stand up to emerging needs in our community and to quickly bring that network together to tackle them and to solve and bring forward solutions.
What letter is that? That's the Z. Very good.
It's like, is this really happening? Like 20 years of saying, I'm moving these kids out of my home and I'm going into a center. And then I get into a center and then another opportunity comes. Without United Way Suncoast stepping in and helping us, I probably would still be looking and trying, like reaching for it, but I don't know if I would have made it without it.
We love it here. My daughter loves going here. She's happy to come every day. She's going to be ready for kindergarten when she goes this August, and that is all because of R.I.S.E Academy and what Cynthia is doing here.
It means a lot to me because my child has a little bit of like autism. So for them to work with me, with my child, is wonderful. With United Way Suncoast helped us, and it helped the kids, and it helped the parents. Everyone wins. Brain building. That's what early learning means to me.
That's where the real magic happens, is when we link arm in arm with our nonprofit partners, our volunteers, our donors, to creating positive change and helping our R.I.S.E families. That's where the magic happens. And that's what's really special about United Way, and one of the things that I'm most proud of.
United we rise.
United we win.
United we continualize.
Gosh, I love that video so much. Thank you all for being here today. And I'm here today to tell you about why we call this the Rise and Shine Breakfast. The people featured on that marvelous video, Cynthia Sumter Scott, Barb Smith, Jai Henson, they carry a shine, a light that is burning in their hearts and minds. You could see that in their faces and in their words. And our wonderful keynote speaker, my beautiful and talented friend, Yala Ford, carries that same light in her work. And she shines for our area, our nation, and the world. The community members who have donated, participated, and advocated for our organization also carry it. It's a shine that's allowed United Way Suncoast to impact the lives of more than 500,000 people in 2023. Each and every one of us who chose to walk into this room today possesses this shine, this light. And it's not just a desire to shine individually, it's a yearning to team with like-minded people to be a part of something that is bigger than ourselves. That's the energy behind our shine and the reason we rise every single day to make a difference. This beacon that called us all here today, that torch that lights the way, was first ignited 100 years ago, right here in Tampa. A group of civic and business leaders knew in 1924 what we know today. Every community needs a thriving United Way, and every United Way needs an engaged community. Back then, they created a unifying force to address complex community challenges. They saw a need to come together and shine the way for children, for students, for parents, for families. And in 1924, those community challenges sounded eerily similar to what we face today. Prosperity came to Tampa in the 1920s with an influx of new residents moving to the city. New developments like Davis Islands began to emerge, but that prosperity left some behind. Our founding organizations concluded that the best way to succeed would be by aligning their interests so that they could widen the path of prosperity for every citizen. They knew that they had to rise and shine. And from that inspirational start, the Tampa Welfare League and Community Chest grew to become an integral part of the city and eventually the region. And from that aspirational beginning, we overcame challenges, we evolved, and we expanded. Today, United Way Suncoast covers a 5-county region: Hillsborough, Pinellas, Manatee, Sarasota, and DeSoto. We are the United Way serving the largest population in the state of Florida. We took that initial light, we kindled it with care, stoked it with ingenuity, and kept the fire burning. Today, that legacy ignites our purpose and allows our families and children to thrive, helps our region shine because we're mobilizing each and every one of you, the caring people in our community. Most organizations have a mission statement. Most groups talk about their mission, their vision, their values. We do too. But let me be clear, we are on a mission. We are here to elevate, energize, and empower. We're on a mission because we're building our present success and carrying the bright light of our past into a future, teeming with opportunities to do more, be more, and give more. We're on a mission because life isn't about existing in a box. It's about taking steps each and every day towards greater achievements and higher goals. We're on a mission because we've been entrusted with a 100-year beacon that still demands our best. We're on a mission because that light and our decades of success prompted philanthropist Mackenzie Scott to bless us with $20 million in 2020. And let me be clear, over these past 4 years, we've infused what we call our R.I.S.E dollars into our work. Instead of squirreling away in a bank account, we don't sit on funds, we stand on action. And I want to tell you about those R.I.S.E dollars and how they reach, invest, support, and empower. Those R.I.S.E dollars have families walking up to their homes at the end of the day with a renewed peace of mind because they no longer live in fear of that yellow notice being taped to their door. By investing more than $3 million with 16 strategic community partners, we helped more than 6,000 families avoid eviction or find new stable housing in the last few years. We also provided $1.3 million in direct assistance to families with rent, mortgage, and utilities. And that investment helped us leverage other dollars, an additional $1.9 million in emergency rental assistance funds, government funds, and private funds for a total impact of more than $5 million. Those RISE dollars have community members impacted by hurricanes bouncing back from damage and economic disruptions. In the immediate wake of Hurricane Ian, we used funds from Scott's Gift to initiate $1.3 million in mid and long-term recovery efforts. This included more than $600,000 in grants to our nonprofit partners, positively impacting nearly 30,000 community members. We converted those housing navigators with our housing work to navigators in response to the hurricane crisis so that residents could unlock federal aid dollars and help them in the aftermath of the storm. And we're nearly completed with our disaster resiliency guide that will help us be even more prepared for the next challenge that is definitely sure to come, be it a housing crisis, a hurricane, or an economic crisis. And we continue today to collaborate with our partners to help community members overcome the challenges brought on by natural storms and life's daily storms. And we truly, truly believe that early learning and education remains one of the best ways to help them deal with those storms. Those RISE dollars have more children arriving to the first day of kindergarten with raised hands, eager minds, and attentive ears. More than 2,000 children showed improvement in age-appropriate life skills, and over 1,700 demonstrated enhanced communication and literacy skills. These critical results will lead to more children graduating from high school, fewer children getting tripped up by society's pitfalls, and more children going on to post-secondary success. Those RISE dollars have us serving 64 quality child care centers, 36 schools of focus, and 40 United for Literacy sites. We are putting more books into the hands of students, more guidance into the minds of parents, and more love and support for our early learning instructors and teachers. Beyond the impact of RISE dollars, we continue to shine in other ways. We are on a mission to take the donations entrusted to us and invest them in the community. And we use that phrase, invest in community, because every investment yields a return for that community. Our nonprofit partners have been one of the biggest recipients of our investments. With United We Lead, a new initiative in the last few years, we share our operational expertise with nonprofits to strengthen their skills, their instincts, their abilities, their processes, and their resources. When we provide the tools these organizations need to thrive and survive, we increase the impact of our investments and our leadership. Since 2022, we've intensified our leadership efforts to better share our nonprofit expertise and help our partners create lasting, sustainable change. This process is called capacity building. And as we do with all of our efforts at United Way Suncoast, we rely on data to inform our efforts. Our data shows that these capacity building efforts extend the impact of programmatic work in the community like ripples in a water, allowing us to help more families living paycheck to paycheck. When we assist our nonprofit partners in increasing their fund development capabilities or understanding the process of improvement strategies, we expand the ecosystem of social services for every person and family seeking services throughout our 5-county region. Look at the data reported back to us by our United We Lead partners. 51% of programs report a new resource or collaboration leading to increased service access for ALICE families. 46% of programs report a new process or design improvement leading to improved impact and measurement. And at least $1 million in additional grants were secured from other funders because they leveraged the United Way Suncoast investments. That is powerful. In conjunction with United We Lead, we've implemented a Data for Impact initiative to identify tools, practices, and opportunities for investing and education opportunities for our partners. Data for Impact makes use of smarter analytic and visualization tools and help us define our own internal capacity needs to sustain those efforts. We're also on a mission to deliver free tax preparation services as we just talked about in the beginning of our program. We want to offer this to community members because we know those dollars can stabilize the challenges delivered by our uncertain economy. People have been known to cry over income taxes. And last year, there were tears at one of our volunteer income tax assistance sites, tears of joy. A woman yielded more than $17,000 in back returns and tax credits after she had gone 2 years without filing a return. She cried, the IRS certified volunteer cried, everybody cried. They cried because they knew that sum would help her stabilize her housing, pay for her young son's childcare, and even help her start a college fund. And that's just one part of our financial stability efforts. We're also helping community members thrive with bank on accounts, financial coaching, and our new financial wellness at work program. This is the transformational change that we've created for more than 100 years. This is the way we will continue to transform our community in our second century of service. 100 years of thriving, 100 years of growth, 100 years of ambition, 100 years of empowerment that will translate into another 100 years of service. However, it is important for me to point out that we do absolutely none of this alone. All that we do is done in partnership. That's the United Way. From our first executive director, Ruth Atkinson, to the women who I'm very jealous of, went on horseback to collect donations in our earliest days. I still want to make that happen. To the community icons like Furman, McFarland, Knight, McKay, Stovall, Moss, Colbreth, Likes, and Howell, who carried the torch through the decades. Our existence rests on a foundation of convening, collaborating, and today, our partnerships not only fuel our present success, but they also shine a way for our future achievements. Our evolution will continue with data-driven decisions and innovative practices. We'll soon debut a virtual experience called Go United that will revolutionize how our donors, volunteers, and community members and stakeholders connect and interact with United Way Suncoast. We will continue to inspire philanthropy, especially among the next generation of donors who don't get enough credit for their giving hearts. Our Gen Z and millennial members also care about our community, but they want to support in more efficient and different ways. We'll also employ predictive analytics and to use in our data work to improve our outreach and help inform us about community needs so that we can get in front of trends and issues. We will be more proactive instead of reactive. And we will create more integrated and accessible continuum of support for children and families. And this will all be fueled by the light that burns in your heart and mind. As the old proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. The issues facing our community today demand that we go far and that we go together. We have 45% of families in our region living paycheck to paycheck who just stand one unexpected expense away from dire circumstances. We have the annual cost of childcare costing more than a year of tuition at the University of South Florida. We have residents spending 57 cents of every dollar they earn on transportation and housing before they have spent on anything else that they need. We have complex challenges that are once again calling for United Way Suncoast to carry the torch. And we have a United Way that's calling on you to help us light the way. We have a community calling on all of us to rise and shine each and every day. And we will do that if we embrace one simple truth. United we rise, united we win. Thank you.
All right, my friends, we really hope that this morning you have been inspired to stay committed to the cause. We are wrapping up our program, so I'll remind you we have the cards. Please leave us your information so we can get in touch and tell you more about the great work that the United Way is doing. Thank you to James, our chair, Jessica, wonderful speech, Yar, wonderful speakers. Thank you all for coming this morning. Have a blessed rest of your day. Thank you.